Hey everyone, hope you guys are having a great day today. We're going to be making a prediction video for the Chicago Bears next season in 2026. 2025 was a great year to be a Chicago Bears fan. The team was very fun to watch. The offense under Ben Johnson really showed phenomenal highlights, phenomenal plays, and most importantly, clutch wins. And they had a great playoff push last season, but in 2026, they want to move that playoff push into a Super Bowl push. And I think that's what the Bears are going to be doing. They're going to do a massive defensive overhaul. This offense is already really good, but they are going to have to make moves on the defense. Defense wins you championships. Look at the Seattle Seahawks. They won that mostly, if not largely, due to their defense. Now, the Bears currently have a negative 10.6 salary situation. It is not the worst in the NFL. I think Minnesota has that dubious honor at negative 40 million, but the Bears are 5 of 6 teams that is below the salary cap, or that are above the salary cap rather, and they're going to have to find a way to make room for new players, and I think they're going to be doing that right here with some of these guys. They're going to release some players, but they're also going to make some contracts, reconstructions, and a few other things. The Bears are going to easily do it. I'm about to show you why. I'm going to use Spotrac for this video. The money situation I don't think is going to be 100% accurate. However, it's a really good visual understanding of what I think the Bears are going to be doing and why they're going to be doing it. Let's start with the elephant in the room, and that's Dayo Odeyingbo. Dayo Odeyingbo was a pass rusher for the Chicago Bears. He was signed to a massive deal in 2025. However, he tore his Achilles and did not see a lot of production. And I think right now he's a big liability in the Bears' salary situation. And I think going long term, I think the Bears are going to need to let him go for somebody for more signings, re-signings, and stuff like that in the future. I think that they're going to be releasing him. It's a big dead cap hit, but I think long term it's going to be a worthwhile investment. We'll go ahead and do that. Next up is Tremaine Edmunds. Tremaine Edmunds did have some production in terms of the turnover margin last season, but other than that, he was not the greatest of linebackers for a defense to have. I love Tremaine Edmunds a lot, but I can understand why the Bears are going to let go of him. They're going to need a guy who's more efficient at what a linebacker is best at, which is blocking the running backs from moving forward or letting the quarterback go through or other stuff like that. I'm going to say they're going to be releasing Tremaine Edmunds. And just like that, the Bears are $1 million above cap space. However, they can do a lot better than that. And they're going to have to if they're going to make some big defensive pushes moving forward. The next player I think that I'm going to be covering over is Cole Kmet. Now, Cole Kmet is a great tight end. I love him a lot. However, I think the Bears are going to keep pushing forward with Colston Loveland. Even though he didn't get all the reps as a tight end, he still produced massive numbers, and he's a rookie. He has a high floor, a lot more potential to tap into, and I think the Bears are going to move with Loveland going forward. But for Cole Kmet, it is not the end of the world for him. In fact, he's a great player. Other teams are going to be looking to sign Cole Kmet. There's a few teams like the Carolina Panthers, Kansas City Chiefs, maybe if they're going to let go of Travis Kelce, we'll see. A lot of teams are going to be wanting a tight end, and I think Cole Kmet is going to be that guy. They're going to trade Cole Kmet, and they're going to get a pretty good value with him. A second round or third round pick, I think, is what's going to happen with Cole Kmet. I think that's who they're going to go with. We're going to do a quick trade. Again, I know that if you were to go for a 2025 second round pick, you would get some you would get some money going into those as well. But for the sake of things, we'll do a quick trade. We're not going to make it overly complicated. Next up that I want to cover, and then we'll finally go into other contracts, is Ozzy Trapillo. Trapillo was a great offensive lineman. He's a rookie. He was phenomenal, but but in the wild card game last season experienced a severe leg injury, and it's one where only 25% of players who receive that injury make a full recovery. I think, and this is unfortunate for me to say because I love Trapillo, I think he's going to go on the injury reserve. He's going to make He's going to focus on making a full recovery. I think that's just what's going to happen. I know it's not a thing you want to see, but I think that's just necessary for him to make a good and full recovery. So now the Bears have $10 million in cap space, which is a lot. However, they're about to make a lot more moves. They're going to do some contract restructurings. They're going to make a few. Not every player is going to get them, but they're going to do it for 2 players. Montez Sweat is one that I think is going to get one, and then Joe Thuney is the other. These two I like both of them a lot. In particular, Joe Thuney and his offensive lineman work. I think they're going to be making these 2 moves for better contracts and also to sign more players. And just like that, the Chicago Bears have $37 million in money that they can spend. And this is where we're going to go into the free agent market. But before we do that, I want to address another big elephant in the room, and that's regarding DJ Moore and trading him for an edge rusher like Max Crosby. There's a big potential trade going around the internet that really sounds like a big win-win deal for both the Chicago Bears and the Las Vegas Raiders. The Bears would trade DJ Moore and a first-round pick to the Las Vegas Raiders, and in turn, the Raiders would give the Bears Max Crosby and a 5th-round pick. That sounds like a really great deal for both sides. However, I just don't. It's one of those where it's too good to be true, and even then, I think letting go of DJ Moore would create a wide receiver problem for this Bears offense. Moore has been a very productive guy. I think you're going to see more production from Moore next season, and I just think that that's what's going to happen. Even then, there's other edge rushers the Bears can easily sign. The Bears are going to make a lot of big blockbuster hits. I think that's what's going to happen. So let's go ahead and move forward with that. With free agent signings. Now, for the Bears situation in particular, there's 2 players here that I think the Bears are going to keep. Some of these guys have been great on their own right, but you can also understand why the Bears aren't going to let go of each and every one of them. But I think there's 2 that I think the Bears are truly going to be investing more time in. Kevin Byard is one. I know you could say he's on the wrong side of 30. However, he's a great veteran presence. Even then, I do not think his production is going to fall off. We'll give him a market value contract. And then finally, we're also going to do DeMarco Jackson. He took over, I think, after Tremaine Edmonds got hurt. However, he showed a lot of potential. I think the Bears are going to give him a prove-it deal in this season. I think he's going to do great as a linebacker in Dennis Allen's defensive team. I also forgot to mention this. We'll cover this real quick. We're going to go over extensions. There are 2 extensions I think the Bears are going to make. Let's start with Darnell Wright. Darnell Wright definitely deserves an extension. He is a dog on the offensive line. He's a phenomenal guy. I think the Bears need to keep this guy around. They're going to make an extension early, make sure he gets paid. I think it's a great investment for the Bears long term. And the other one is DeAndre Swift. I know a lot of Bears fans were skeptical of DeAndre Swift in the beginning of the season, but by the end of it, he's been a phenomenal running back with Common on Guy, another great rookie. I think the Bears are going to give him another 2 seasons worth of time. They're going to extend him as well while we're at it. These are 2 great players I think the Bears are going to keep around. And now finally, we can go into what I think the Bears are going to do for this offseason and some free agency signings. Let's start with the edge rush position. There are so many great players that the Bears can sign on the edge rushing position. I think, though, that the team that the Bears are going to sign first is Bradley Chubb. Trey Anderson's great. I like Khalil Mack. There's even some other guys. But I think these guys are going to sign with other teams. And even then, I still think, though, that Chubb is... I'm going to go with Bradley Chubb here. He was just recently released by the Miami Dolphins. And like I said, I think the Bears are going to make a massive blockbuster hit. I think Bradley Chubb is going to be the guy for the future. We're going to give him a 3-year, $22 million deal. The Bears are going to sign him, and it's just going to be a massive deal. $22 million is, by the way, the contract that he had with the Miami Dolphins. I think they'll just continue that for another 3 seasons, just something very simple. It's going to be different than what I'd showed, and even though this shows it went down by a few mil, I think that it's actually going to go. They're going to be paying him $22 million. So again, it's going to be less than what we're showing here. But again, the Bears are making these massive splash signings and contract hits, and they're going to do another one in the safety position There's a lot of guys that the Bears can go with. There's Jalen Thompson. There's Cameron Curl on the Rams. That's a great hit as well. Kobe Bryant would be a phenomenal pick. And all these guys are great. I think that some of these guys, Jamal Adams, Nick Cross. There's a lot of guys the Bears can go ahead and sign on the defensive side, on the secondary. I'm going to go ahead and say that the Bears are going to sign Jalen Thompson. Jalen Thompson, I think it will be a great safety. He'll be excited to go on a winning team. No offense to Arizona. I think they're going to go ahead and sign him. They'll be the next major guy I think the Bears are going to be signing. Next up on the chopping block, or not on the chopping block, because the same really chopping block. But next up on the Bears signings, this is the next one we're going to be focusing on, is going to be on the cornerback situation. I think with letting go of Nashad Wright, I think the Bears are going to make another roll of the dice for somebody great. There's a lot of good cornerbacks out there. There's Greg Newsome. There's, you can go with Amik Robertson. Tre'Davious White's another guy. There's just a lot of great guys. But I think the guy they're going to go with is Alontae Taylor. Alontae Taylor was underneath Dennis Allen's defense. And I think that Dennis Allen's going to want to sign players that know his system, the players know what to expect with him. And at the end of the day, they want a guy who's going to produce a lot of numbers. I think the coordination with Dennis Allen is going to do wonders for a good defense. We're going to go ahead and sign Alontae Taylor. It's a pretty big deal, but the Saints are going to want to deal with their cap situation, so it makes sense. We're going to go ahead and sign him as well. And, those are the big, huge, blockbuster signings that I think the Bears are going to be making. I think they're going to make one more smaller move for sure. It's going to be a small wide receiver, going to be for a one-year deal. It's not going to be a big signing or anything. But I just feel like they're going to be doing that. I think they're going to let go of Zacchaeus, but they're going to do the same strategy again with somebody else. I think Tyler Lockett's going to be the guy, but again, that's just me thinking that. I think other players like Marcus Valdes-Scantling, Jalen Tolbert, Gabe Davis, just some other smaller guys, I think might also get that role as well. I think that they're going to be signing Tyler Lockett for a one-year deal, kind of just a backup, but also for a good veteran presence, maybe for rookies like Luther Burden, or heck, you can even just go with Rome Odunze, for that matter. But anyway, this is what I think the Bears are going to be doing in this offseason. Again, massive defensive overhaul. I think that some of these players that I'm showing you here might also get cut. I've been seeing speculation on some other players. I've also seen other major signings. But again, it's going to be a massive defensive overhaul. There's probably more players that the Bears are going to be signing that are going to be great for this defense moving forward. But these are the ones that I think the Bears are going to not only prioritize, but also grab. I think for their draft pick as well, they're going to go for a defensive side, maybe a linebacker. Just go with something easy. Go with something for the trenches. That's what I think the Bears are going to be doing. I think this offseason is going to be phenomenal for the Bears. Players want to play in Chicago. They want to play for a winning team. They want to play for a great culture, and that's exactly what Ben Johnson has brought in his first season already. And I think Bears fans are going to have a lot of excitement going into this offseason as well for next season. This is going to be a great team next season, and it starts with what they're going to do in the next few months. Anyway, that's what I think is going to happen. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.